last years of the 19th century, that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space. No one could have dreamed we were being scrutinized as someone with a microscope studies creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. Few men even considered the possibility of life on other planets. And yet, across the gulf of space, minds immeasurably superior to ours regarded this Earth with envious eyes. And slowly and surely, they drew their plans against us.
Broadcasting live
from a tiny studio somewhere in North America.
This is Dark Matters Radio Live. And now I give you your host,
the silverback of ufology.
Here's Don Ecker.
Well, greetings, everybody. Welcome back to another brand new edition, Dark Matters Radio. As the narrator said, I'm out here in a small studio somewhere in North America, which is actually California. And God, we've had to start building boats out here the last few days. I have not seen so much rain in probably the last several decades. It has been soaking. It's been crazy. Haven't seen the sun in 3-4 days, which is unusual. California yearly usually has at least part of the day, 360 days of the year, where you get some sunshine. Not right now. It's been crazy. But anyway, here we are, the middle, actually a little past the middle of November. Next week, my God, is Thanksgiving. And 3-4 weeks after that, Christmas. It's hard to believe how this year has blown past. But I got to tell you, I don't think I'm going to miss it much. Now, tonight, we're going to have kind of an open-ended forum. I don't have a guest scheduled tonight. I thought it was time for just Mark and Gerry to, we'll just kick around things that are on our own head. But I got to tell you, and Gerry, get ready when you come on screen, because I found a reel today on the internet that I sent out to a bunch of people. When I first saw it, honest to God, I could not stop laughing. And I sent it to Mark, I sent it to Gerry, I sent it to Skywatcher, I sent it to everybody. And it's only right that I send it out on the show tonight. So with that being said, Mark, Gerry, come on in, join me. There you are. How you guys doing? Gerry, get your ass over here.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing, Bill. Jesus Christ.
Get your ass over here. Matter of fact, get your ass down there.
I like it when I can reach up like this and I pretend like he's my puppet.
Mark, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Just, I got up late from an old man nap, and I'm a little, so I drank a little coffee.
You're groggy after those, aren't you?
And now I'm drinking some Red Bull, and at some point you'll piss me off enough to wake me up, Don.
Okay. Now this reel that I found, this little video clip, it's a humorous thing, but it is funny. Go ahead and run that if you would, Gerry.
All right, on it. And here we go, guys.
Would you turn me in? What's wrong?
Let's go for a drive. Okay, what's going on? You smoked somebody?
What?
Where's the body?
No, there is no body.
Okay. Did you take it to the city dump or the swamp by the train tracks?
Neither.
Oh, please don't tell me you buried the damn
I
thing.
didn't kill anybody, and it's very disturbing that you know where to hide bodies. I was just asking a general question.
Oh.
I was joking.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Good.
No, that's a marriageable woman right there, boy. Let me tell you.
Yep. Let me tell you. So we got folks in the chat already, which is really nice. Oh, by the way, look who it is.
Hey, Anima, how you doing, girl?
And she asked me to say hi to everybody tonight, especially Bill. She says nobody ever shows Bill any love.
We do. It's just off camera.
It's just on camera. Only what you see on the show is no love, but below the camera, it's all love.
So, have you guys been picking up more of the crap that has been flowing about Three-Eye Atlas? Is unfreaking believable.
Well, you got so much
Three-Eye what?
Three-Eye what?
Three-Eye what?
Yeah. Really?
It's a three-eyed people eater.
No, I've checked out, Don. I mean, if something's going to happen, something's going to happen, right? But as much as we should respect Avi Loeb, if I can believe what I've seen, and it wasn't on a reel, but if I can believe what I've seen on the internet that he invited Kim Kardashian to be part of his Comet team, I'm out, man. I'm out.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, it's because you're too busy watching reels going, I think it might be real. I think it might be real.
Exactly.
And he's almost famous enough to make that be called a booty call.
Well, who knows? Who knows? I've been trying to Mark D'Antonio has been the one voice of sanity about this whole thing, you know?
Yeah, that's why, I begged you to have him on the last time, because like the rocket expert, he's our space expert, right? So at least we get to ask him. Here, I just posted it in there. It's true. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb has invited Kim Kardashian to join his research team investigating the interstellar comet 3I Buttless, which she inquired about on X. The invitation was a response to her public questions about the comet. Now, look, I have no hate for her. She's she does what she does. Fine. But it just seems interesting that a guy of his pedigree would reach out publicly for something like that. I don't know what to think of that, Don.
Well, there was a time when I would have reached out for Gerry Ryan or Jolene Blaylock. Let me tell you what.
Well, I get it. But you're also not making a prediction with a number attached to it on what could happen with whatever this thing is, right?
Not that you've heard.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. Excellent. Keep it to yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, it's crazy. It's funny. I've been doing this UFO beat for so long. The insanity and the lunacy that I've seen for at least, my God, it almost hurts to say it, 37 years that I've been doing this. It's beyond the pale, man.
Yeah.
How I kept my sanity, I have no idea.
So you have, if we go back there, Don, when we look at like Hoagland, initially he was bringing forth, or at least having help to bring forth, or borrowing stuff to bring forth, or whatever you may say about the moon and the Mars, right? But you'll remember, Don, he used to make proclamations about stuff that was absolutely going to happen based on whatever it was, right? Like when he said that they were going to visit in the desert on a certain date, and then a storm came in, and then evidently it was obscured by the storm, but they really did come in. I don't remember all the particulars on it, but I don't put those two, Loeb and Hoagland, on the same level. Not that I know Loeb better than I know Hoagland. Talked to him a few times. Used to call him on the phone and things, but it just everybody just wants their moment, right? Greer's been in that moment since the 90s. And you know, he goes quiet for a while, then he pokes his head back up and says a bunch of crazy stuff. Moussan's the same way. Goes quiet for a little while, comes back up for air, says something about, shows a video, shows some mummies, goes away for a while. I don't know, Don.
It's well, you know, here's the problem. Any Tom, Dick, or Harry can stick a sign up that says ufologist lives here.
Yeah.
There's no standards for it. There's no testing. It's just crazy. And sometimes the people with the most crazy stories are the ones that achieve notoriety. So,
well, I talked to Wolf about that, and you were part of that conversation. Back in the alien autopsy and that stuff, I was invited to speak to a couple of things. Most of them I turned down. I wasn't comfortable to, like, be in an auditorium and all that and stand up in front of the people and pontificate. But with something like MUFON, they're much more apt to have a pro Billy Meyer person on, or a pro Dr. Jonathan Reed person, or a pro whatever person on than a Don Ecker or somebody like that. They want the stories. The stories put asses in the seats. The stories sell memberships, right? And you see that on YouTube now. I mean, it's polluted with experts. I'm not going to say any names, but it's polluted with experts. Some are a little better than others. There's that new guy, Gerry has probably seen him from a channel called Vetted. I kind of like him. He looks at he'll try to call a spade a spade. That I sent you guys out. You may not have had a chance to watch it, but some guys got that probe. I'll go slow, okay? Got that silver probe with the writing on each end, and he evidently drilled into it, and something miraculous happened to him. Maybe he's dead, maybe he's not. He looked at it, sort of put two and two together, and his estimation is what his is. He thinks it's phony. But how many people out there are willing to have skin in the game, right? That growing creature from Peru, have you seen anything on that in the last month or more, where he kept on releasing? He threw it in the water. He went and he got it. It seems to be gone now. Where's that guy, right? Some people were saying, oh yeah, for sure it's some kind of a creature from somewhere else, you know, the bowels of hell or Mars or whatever. Who can keep up with all this, Don? And should we keep up with all of this?
well, I think you know my answer, but there are a lot of people. Look, let's go back to the early 90s, 93, 94, 95. What was the big thing happening? A must-see. Everybody, especially if you were into the UFO topic,
The X-Files.
The X-Files. And in Agent Mulder's office, he had a sign.
A Billy Meyer craft.
Billy Meyer flying saucer. And it said, I want to believe. And that's been the mantra. And the discernment of what's real and what's not got totally blurred. And this is what you have. So there it is.
Right. It's just worse now. With the AI, we had our buddy come on and talk about that. I don't watch those shorts necessarily because I know that most of them. Well, you sent me that one on 3i Atlas, right? And it had that girl there, and it's going on behind her, and she's making these faces, and she's pointing up and all about China and Japan and all that stuff. Well, look, do I know it's fake? What she's talking about? I don't know, but then I go to a search engine and I look around and I find the exact opposite information, right? Now, that doesn't make me right. Doesn't make my search right. Isn't that
Nor
the
does it
problem?
make either one true.
Right,
Exactly.
right. That's the problem. A huge problem. So
Yeah,
instead, I'd rather call Gerry or FaceTime him and complain about the new Predator movie because that's far more important, right?
Well, artificial intelligence will totally screw the pooch on this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's going to be a time where we're not going to be able to believe a damn thing. And again, I always go back to the flat Earth thing, Don, that still to this day, you'll see Starlink videos that freaked me out the first time that I saw a chain. I was outside looking, holy crap! Like, it's my Will Smith moment. And then I go inside, I call up Don, and I look it up. Oh, it's a Starlink chain. All right. Look very cool. Do any of you guys know, and you probably do, what's your guess on how many Starlink satellites are up there right now? Right this very moment.
Holy crap.
I have no idea.
My guess is well over 1,000.
9,000.
Because 9,000.
9,000.
I know he is got them all over the place right now, over the Ukraine, the parts of Africa, and parts of Asia, and of course here in the U.S. So
right. So
gotta be a few.
I was thinking about what D'Antonio said about the vastness of space, right? And you think, like, if I look up, like, every night I do a security check around the house and all that with my super bright light, and I put that in my friends in the windows every night, and they know it's me. And they're, oh, it's just Mark. He's gonna check out our house. So I'm out there and I'm looking up there and I say, that's a lot of space where I can see a lot of the stars and stuff. And I'm looking up. And then I thought about what Mark said, the vastness of space. And I said, within my purview there, what would 9,000 satellites look like, right? Be pretty polluted, like a drone show, right? But then if you were to flatten out the Earth, and then you were to put 9,000 up there on the size of whatever that would be flattened out, like an orange peel, you wouldn't even really notice them, right? Unless you were like really looking for them and trying to ascertain them. So I find it interesting that there's 9,000, and that's just from him. There's probably tens of thousands of pieces of junk and all that up there over the last 60 years or 80 years that we've been throwing stuff up there. So the vastness of space, Don, it's pretty vast. It's pretty vast.
Big, very big. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When he says that we can fly the Voyager through the rings of Saturn, like over and over and over again, and not be worried about being hit, I wouldn't think that. From what I know, I wouldn't think that. I would think, no way, you're going to come up there and just get peppered and you're done. Because of what, the photos I've seen and all that stuff.
Yeah, it won't look like The Empire Strikes Back with the Millennium Falcon having to dodge shit. It's just,
right.
Just fly through, and the odds are you're not going to hit anything.
Right. I would think the only time you'd see something like that is if you were in the vicinity of something exploding. And then you're going to have a bunch of debris close by until it, right? But
yeah.
So I did.
But almost everything here is moving in the same direction now.
Right. Like in that stupid movie Gravity, good effects. George Clooney can suck it. But that stupid movie where Sandra Bullock is holding the rope and Clooney's on the other side and Clooney's being pulled in that direction in space. And then he lets go of the rope, and there goes George Clooney. And I look at my wife, because we paid to see that, and I'm looking, that doesn't make any sense. He wouldn't be being pulled into space like this. It's not like he's got a jetpack and he hit a button and whoosh, right?
Yeah, he would just let go.
He would stay there.
Well, there still is what they create in that is what's referred to, centrifugal force. But the problem is centrifugal force doesn't work that way. It's just pure inertia.
Right. In that case, he's got a hold of a rope. You let go of the rope, you're really not going to go too far
He's
fast.
still going to continue moving because of inertia the same direction, not holding the rope or not. He's going to continue spinning with whatever she's rotating with. So you're completely right.
Right. It's just like, but I love the effects. So hey.
Yep, looks great.
Yeah, it was great.
Hey, Rick Laganis is in the chat, and he doesn't have a question, but he wanted to make this statement to you guys. And it is, let me get over here, comments. Because Rick Laganis basically says that it's not a question that I have, just an observation. I don't believe any UFO video that has theme music.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Excellent point.
So I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at my quick notes on the Age of Disclosure documentary that's coming out on November 21st. If you like to watch it, you'll be paying $21 for it on Prime. Okay, I won't be paying anything for it. I'm not that interested in it. But
either.
It is kind of interesting that it got tied up because they couldn't get somebody to help distribute it, whatever. And you know what, Don? James Clapper, Elizondo, Chris Mellon, Pudoff, all of these people that are already kind of polluted in my mind. And I don't really need to hear from them at this point. So they do say that it's an amazing.
Nothing new to say. Nothing new.
Because it's a little old now because we're moving so quickly, right? It's a bit old. More power to the person that put it together. I've never made a movie. I've never made a documentary. A lot of work, a lot of money. Kind of problematic for me that the director Don Farrell produced the James Fox documentary Phenomenon, which, James Fox, you can think whatever you want about the work that he does. I think it's kind of interesting. So, I don't know. We'll get a copy of that and we'll watch it at Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's right at Thanksgiving, right? So we'll all watch it for Thanksgiving and we'll come away with a new appreciation of UAPs and UFOs in 2025, I'm sure. I'm sure we will.
I don't know, man.
I stand firmly on my disclosure paper I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Firmly. Whatever the bottom line is, the core secret is they've demonstrated for well over 60, 70 years that they're going to keep this tight to the vest. I don't know what it is. I've made some speculations about what it could be, what it may be, but we're never going to know the full story ever.
Well, Don, in your mind, with all the time you put in and the mind of a silverback, if a Will Smith inexplicable thing happens that they can't cover up, And it's just like, you can't even say like, oh, it's drones or it's, it's fake and it's faked and so. Just like what he saw in that film. And that's why I like the size of the ships in Independence Day are inexplicable, right? They're just freaking giant. And that's the way you do it. If that was to happen, Mr. Ecker, what do you think would happen in North America and then in other third worldy kind of countries if an inexplicable thing like that happened?
Ask me after this inexplicable thing happens. I'm not going to speculate because I don't see something like that occurring. But if it did, then ask me then.
Well, 3i Atlas could make a left turn and it could come in.
Ask me after it makes that left turn.
Well, by that point, on planet Earth, we won't be able to talk to each other anymore.
Oh, my goodness. So
either our government or the aliens will fucking shut off all communication.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If that happens, oh boy. Okay.
Well, I haven't been watching that close, Don. 3i Atlas drives me crazy. I guess maybe we'll be at the end of 3i Atlas as far as it making a left turn and coming in sometime in December, right? It's going to get at its closest in December. So
December 17th, I believe.
So
that's what Genghis Khan just said too. Check it out. We'll just have to wait till mid-December.
Right. And again, it doesn't say there's not strange stuff with it. We all know that there is, right? Okay, all right. It's strange stuff. We're still finding strange stuff in the bottom of our own oceans. So that we've never seen before, right?
Do you know how much of our planet's oceans have been explored?
Infinitesimal. Yeah.
Somewhere between 5 and 10%.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of time, effort, and money. So, yeah.
God only knows what's down there.
Water.
A lot of water, yeah. A lot of salt water, actually.
Salt, kelp, crustaceans. And it does make sense. What D'Antonio postulates is it could be that the visitors have always been there because it's we can't go that deep, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, all right. I don't know. I have no clue. I guess the bottom line is if something was to happen that wasn't turmoil, right? If it wasn't if turmoil didn't happen and proof happened on our shore or something like that, how is that going to affect most of us? Not really. Still got to eat breakfast. Wife's still going to go to work at Sam's Club.
Well, it's kind of like the government shutdown.
Yeah, the shutdown, exactly. I not to minimize that, but how did it affect me? Didn't. It did affect people. I'm saying, yes, it did. It did. And it's bullshit that they would play these kind of games in politics, both sides, whatever. It's bullshit. I get it. But when it comes right down to it, on a personal note, does the religion of my locality, whatever the mix is, affect me? Not that I'm aware of. Does the, I don't know. I mean, what does affect you? Pollution, be it noise pollution, light pollution, that can affect you. Those rat bastard kids on their e-bikes, that can affect me. Stuff like that, right? But the rest of this is entertainment to some extent, as Don watches his reels. And, a friend sent me a reel, and you guys may or may not have seen it. And it shows this catfish, big old catfish. And the guy's behind it, and this catfish is like 15 feet long, right? It's like a log.
That's a
and
shark.
It's got it. And no, it's a catfish, and it's got.
I know, but it's that big. It may as well be a shark.
Right. It's got this guy in the mouth, and it says he he almost died, but his friend saved him, right? And there's a guy in the back, like a hold of that part. There's another guy with like a baseball bat, and he's trying to hit it to get it to do something. And there's a gal who's got his feet in her hands, and she's on shore, and it's kind of in the water there. And she's kind of shaking the guy around, you know, and if he weighs what we will weigh, that's your first clue. So she's kind of shaking him around, and the catfish moves, sort of spits the guy out, right? Well, I'm looking at it because a friend of mine thought it was real. I'm looking at it, and he's face down inside of it, right? Face down, chest down, and his feet are pointing up. His feet are on backwards, and most people missed it, right? And at first I missed it because I wasn't looking at that. And then I look in the comments and it says, that guy's feet are on backwards. But it looked pretty good. It did.
AI baby.
AI doing its thing. That's right.
His feet are on backwards.
By the way, Mark, this one was for you. No, he just live streamed about 3 today, all confused again about 15 minutes ago.
Who?
I don't know. It was in response to something you said, and I missed it. So I just saw it, hoping you might remember. Sorry, Bradley.
I saw something on there that came and went about the boot. Oh, right there. Yeah. Wolf calls it the bogosphere.
Yeah, bogosphere. Instead of bogus, yeah. The James guy who drilled and disappeared for 2 days.
Yeah, him. Okay, him. Right. So they show him drill into it, and then it goes black, and this weird clickety-clack sound starts, and he's like, I'm sorry. And it's all black, and he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. And he's
next week on It's All Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah. I mean, how is that any different than the Dr. Jonathan Reed, right? Or any of that stuff where they're shooting the videos and they evidently were faking all this stuff. It's just so much easier now to fake all this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, we do have a question here, and so there you go. They ever figure out who was putting up those monoliths like the Utah monolith?
I don't think so.
Even if it was someone's art project, I just think it fizzled away into the background noise of the everyday noise. Yeah, I agree. Voyager 1 sends cryptic signal after 5 months of silence. NASA quantum core flags non-human structure. NASA's quantum core anomaly detector was activated by the mysterious Voyager 1 signal, indicating a structure that was not consistent with signals from known human or natural spacecraft. And then Genghis Khan disappeared for 2 days after he sent that. No, he had more. Either that or it's a malfunction, which is probably what it is.
Well, like the WoW, they think the big WoW thing was not some sort of a signal. A lot of people say that too. I don't know.
What are you talking about? The underwater one?
No, the one from I think it was the 70s or something, where they had the WoW in SETI.
Ooh.
That was a 72-second signal of something.
It was a burst of something.
And
right.
it appeared to have artificial structure. But it's never been repeated.
Right. They're not sure.
And that's the problem. Yeah.
It could be an anomaly. And then, of course, Avi Loeb and these guys say that the trajectory of 3i Atlas is coming out of the same area that the WoW came from. Right. I don't know how to, you have to kind of give it up to them, because how am I going to confirm this? Right. That's why we would have, and I think we did ask D'Antonio about that 2 times ago, and I think he talked about it, but I can't remember what he said, but.
Well, I brought up the whoop a second ago because I was wondering if that's what you're talking about. But this goes back to what you both were talking about a little bit ago with the oceans, that we know more about our solar system than we do about what's in our ocean. And years ago, we had that gigantic whoop sound that was picked up. And it led to a J.J. Abrams Godzilla movie in 2008. And but eventually, and a lot of people don't know this, they figured out what it was. And did you guys hear what it was?
I forget. It's
basically ice when in the Arctic.
The shearing ice. You're right.
The shearing ice, when it shears off, it apparently makes that noise. And so there it goes. Just one of those things that you're like, monsters! And it's like, it's just more mundane crap from our planet.
Now, this has nothing to do with anything, but last night I rewatched a film that came out in 1989 with Walter Koenig and Bruce Campbell.
Oh, yeah, the moon.
Called Moontrap.
Yep.
Now, there are a lot of things about that film, and I've seen that film. The professional critics trashed it.
Tense on space.
But I got to tell you, there was something about that was I found charming. Okay. Where these two astronauts, well, actually three, end up going back to the moon because they discovered while on a shuttle mission, this is before Obama shit-canned our shuttle fleet, okay, which I got to tell you, I've never forgiven that guy for that. Our space trucks in space, the shuttle was an amazing machine. But anyway, they discovered this derelict spacecraft, and Walter Koenig, who plays the commander of this shuttle mission, takes a spacewalk over to it and recovers an artifact from a side of this ship that was blown out. And it turns out to have been an object run by artificial intelligence from an artificial intelligence network that was placed on our moon. They go to the moon, end up going to the moon, and they discover an ancient space base there. Now, here's the twist. It was a human space base from roughly 14,000 years ago, before the Ice Age collapsed. And in this base, they discover a woman who's in artificial hibernation, a stasis.
And of course, she's hot.
Oh, my God, yes, of course she is.
And they take advantage of her. Of course they do.
Hell yeah.
Walter Koenig did, sure.
These guys are military, man. Of course they're doing it.
But you guys saw that. What did you think of that movie?
I've only seen it once. I've only seen it one time when it first got put on tape. And I can't even remember it, Don. I saw it one time, so.
Well, it has a particular charm of its own, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it's not just sci-fi; it's horror, because and there's a lot of in common with that movie Event Horizon. Because when I saw Event Horizon, I felt like it was a mix of Moontrap and Hellraiser.
Right.
Because they very thematically similar, that whatever this human-made thing is it's taking over and taking over their bodies and shit. And I don't know. I thought it was good sci-fi. I enjoyed the film when it came out.
Hey, Don, have you ever seen the sequel?
No.
Moontrap Target Earth. It gets a 2.9, so it's got to be good.
Same director, same production company, and so forth.
It's the same screenplay writers, same director. His last name is Dyke, if that means anything to anybody. And a long-forgotten ancient spacecraft discovered on Earth, investigations carried out by Scout Transport, Moon, blah, 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 a long-lost civilization. Came out in 2017. I'll see if I can't find a copy of it so you can close the book on
do you have an HD copy of the original film? Because mine is SD, like VHS quality.
Yeah, it's better than that. It's better than what you have. So we'll discuss a
well, you
trade
didn't have to
of
rub
some
it
kind.
in.
Well, no, we'll discuss a trade of some kind. You know.
Okay.
You know. Yeah.
And by the way, there's what's on the moon. It's robotic, and that's what it's torturing the female.
Yes, I don't remember this at all.
I have vague memories of it because I was actually making out with a girl while it was on the TV.
Are you sure?
I hope it was a girl. We have a nice little comment here. Let me see what this is from. Is this Rick Leganis again? Yes, it's a Rick Leganis. I'm sorry, Rick Leganis's wig. I had a question here, so it is boom. A historical question. What prompted the 1952 UFO event over Washington, D.C.? Roswell, probably, or was it just a show of force?
Okay. Now that is a series of incidents that happened in July and August. Everybody talks about 2 overflights of D.C. There were actually 3. Okay. The last one was in August. At that time, Harry Truman was the president of the United States. And there was such hoopla about what these things were. Newspapers across the country and actually around the world were carrying articles almost daily on these objects being seen in the sky. The Pentagon at that time, although they didn't publicly talk about it, were fearful we were on the forefront of an alien invasion, if you can believe it. Now, President Harry Truman gave the orders for any interceptor jets the Air Force had up there to attempt to shoot one or more of these things out of the sky, to get it down on the ground so we could examine it, find out what exactly it was. Now, the Air Force and the military intelligence establishment were lying through their teeth, okay? As a matter of fact, on the aftermath of the first and the second overflights of D.C., and incidentally, all these areas in D.C. where these things were flying through were restricted space. No aircraft was allowed to go there. The Pentagon, the Congress, the White House, and these things were just flying through there willy-nilly. At one point, they had to get some jets up there. This is a very famous incident. And as a matter of fact, in 1995, I had Philip Klass on my radio show, UFOs Tonight, where we talked about this. Bullshit. And Klass ended up exploding on the air, screaming bullshit. Because I told him, he said, it took them over an hour to get a jet plane up there. And if they were really, really, really concerned, they would have had planes up there right away. Well, Phil didn't know that I had already called the former Project Blue Book guy, civilian guy, that had been in charge of that at the time. His name was Al Chop. And I asked Al, I said, why did it take so long to get aircraft up there? He said, well, all the bases in and around Washington, D.C. at the time were being resurfaced. The runways and everything were being repaired and resurfaced. So we had to fly jets in from Delaware. And when I told class that, and basically let all the air out of his balloon, he went ballistic and ended up hanging up in the middle of the show.
Bullshit.
That's what he did. And but anyway, to get back to the point, why would they have done that? I have no doubt that after there were several incidents where jets fired at UFOs, and they did, in one famous example that Don Kehoe talked about in one of his early books, one jet fired on a UFO, hit the UFO, and knocked pieces of the outside of the craft off from the guns. Now remember, in those days, they were primarily flying with 50 caliber machine guns, M2s. And although these guns were, my God, they were powerful, they weren't like today's missiles. So it hit the craft, knocked some chunks off, and then the Air Force went on a search and destroy to find those pieces of craft that came down. And I think the UFOs were basically putting a message out that, hey, if we wanted to, you wouldn't have a chance. Look at what we can do. And they were flying over the White House, over Congress, over the Pentagon. So yeah, it was a message they were delivering. Kind of like in 91 over the Capitol in Brussels, when F-16s were chasing UFOs then. Do you remember that incident? Mark, do you remember it?
Yeah, it's closer to me to being the Battle of Los Angeles in 42.
Yep.
Right.
So we never knew what that thing was. See, that's the thing, Don. This photo that you're showing here, and then the Battle of Los Angeles. It's a good movie that still has not been made about that. That has anything to do with it.
Well, I had a first-hand witness to the Battle of L.A.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
He has since passed on. Professor Scott Littleton.
Okay.
Who was an anthropology professor at Occidental College. And for about 3 or 4 years, I met Scott. We became friends. He was very much into the UFO thing. He would have me come over in the springtime to his class and give a presentation to his students about UFOs.
Yeah, the folks out there, if you go to YouTube, UPARS, UPARS, they've got some of the videos of him speaking live about this. Scott Littleton, PhD, the Battle of Los Angeles. So if you want to watch him speak about it, what Don is saying, there you go.
And in Scott's class, the last year that he invited me over, and he had gotten sick, and he ended up passing away. Hell of a nice guy. God, I like Scott. He called me up and he said, Don, let me ask you, would you have any objection, or would you be in for a debate in my class on the UFO topic? And I said, well, yeah, who would you have come in? He said, well, Professor Michael Shermer. Now, do you guys recognize Michael Shermer?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mike Shermer is a history professor, had a publication, I guess he still publishes it, I haven't seen it in years, called Skeptic Magazine. And the very first public display by Michael Shermer was on my radio show, UFOs Tonight, back in the 90s. Now, at that time, when he was in town, I would have Dwight Schultz, the actor, Lieutenant Barclay on Star Trek, okay, Howling Mad Murdoch on the A-Team. We were friends, and Dwight loved the UFO topic. And we he would come on, and the guy was funny as hell. And so when Michael Shermer was mentioned in a news article that Mark Center had sent me with another old friend of ours, Dave Aaron, Video Dave Aaron.
Video Dave.
And somehow Video Dave and Michael Shermer, I think, got into it, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Mark?
I don't remember.
Well, at any rate, I saw that article and I said, oh, hell, I'm going to find this guy and invite him on. Well, I did. And he came down to the studio and he had a stack of books under his arm like this, okay? Big stack of books. Walked in, sat down. First thing he said, now this was Mike Shermer in the early days. He said to Schultz and I, boy, I hope you guys take it easy on me because I really don't know that much about UFOs. Well, today, of course, he's a leading worldwide expert on UFOs. But I said, oh yeah, we'll be fine. And we had a fun show. But Scott said, well, I'm going to bring in, if it's okay with you, I'm going to bring in Shermer. So we had a debate. And in there at that time, all right, a huge book had just been published called The Day After Roswell. And it was about Lieutenant Colonel Philip Corso. Now, if that's a name you're not familiar with, you should check it out. We started the debate.
Don, just let you know.
At 57.
Oh, I apologize.
Mute him.
That's gonna reflect on your evaluation.
See ya.
Damn you, Bill.
So anyway, we start the debate. And I mentioned Philip Corso. And suddenly Shermer began an insidious attack on this guy. He was a fantasist. He was this, he was that. He claimed these things and he claimed those things. Well, for one thing, Philip Corso had been one of Dwight Eisenhower's national security advisors. Philip Corso had commanded a nuclear battery in Europe. In other words, had war broken out with the Soviet Union, of his own accord, Corso could have released tactical nuclear weapons on his own authority, of course, under a certain set of conditions. And what was it that Corso said that caused this virulent attack on him? That he had been given artifacts allegedly from the Roswell event that he kind of figured out what they were, and he fed them into American industry. And suddenly, we have some of these amazing technological breakthroughs. Now, some of that has been allegedly disproven. Some of it, well, it's pretty wonky, but maybe okay. But I stopped him right there. I had the book with me. It was in my briefcase. And I asked him, I said, well, did you read the book? He avoided the question. And I asked him again. Now, remember, this is where we're having the debate. The classroom was filled with Littleton students. All right, they're watching this. And I asked him again, did you read Corso's book? And he again avoided the question. So I pulled the goddamn book out of my briefcase and I slammed it down on the desk. And I said, Michael, did you read this book? He admitted, no, I didn't. Michael Shermer, premier skeptic, attack dog, attacking a man who spent his life defending America.
Well, what exactly was he attacking? What he did for America, or a book?
What he claimed that Corso was lying about what was claimed in this book.
Okay.
That Corso was a fantasist. That Corso, the guy that was on the National Security Committee and commanded nuclear weapons in Europe, was a liar.
Well,
okay?
Don, he's not
I
saying...
wasn't having any of it, goddammit.
He's not saying that he was lying about his background.
Yes, he did.
About his background. Did. He was lying. He was saying that the book had problems with it, and we both know the book has problems because a lot of what's in that book was written by that asshole from Hollywood.
Okay, there's
it was
a lot
written
of
by Bill
assholes.
Burns.
Right. So, I'm not saying that everything in the book was fake too, but I'm not saying that. But
that's not the goddamn point. The goddamn point is he hadn't read the fucking book. All right?
Right.
He was launching an ad hominem attack on Corso, and he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And now I think we're going to go to break.
Let's have some coffee.
Mark did it. They predicted it in the chat. He was going to piss you off.
Okay.
So, up there's Don. So I thought you'd like to read this. Genghis was in the chat, said, Don tells it like it is, but then he follows up with the right on, Don. There's a lot of people out there that just take the word of an influencer without doing their own research, human nature. So that's pretty cool. And I thought I saw, here it is. Kentucky Skywatcher wrote, hold on, let me find this one because you'll enjoy this one. There it is. Don is a cyborg. He's got computer eyes. That's a fun one. So we do have a couple of questions that I start here. One from earlier. This is from Bradley. What if the GPS anomalies and the November 11th ground vibrations indicate Free Eye Atlas reveal that on November 12, 2025, somehow in the future, we breached the timeline with light speed discovery? Jesus, dude, this is like a pitch for a screenplay. With light speed discovery and 3i Atlas is, and I'm not sure where he was going with that, but does any of that trigger anything for you guys?
I barely got out of high school, so I got no comment.
No comment. Then he also, Bradley wrote, Don, not defending, but most of the thruster rocket booster rockets from Lockheed and others were blowing up during liftoff. So what was probably the reasons the shuttle canceled until they could find whatever he was going to go with? Man, I wish you guys would like.
Well, I think, Don, that they were getting old. They were, some of them were showing cracks and things of that.
Well,
sort.
you guys will remember in 86 or 7, 86, I think. The Challenger explosion.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah, I remember that. I was watching
I was too.
the launch when that went up because it had that civilian teacher, that school teacher on board. Christy, God, I forget her last name.
And I'll never forget that after it blew up and the newscasters, this is how you did the news back then, better than now. They were saying, well, let's not jump to conclusions about them being, dead or blown up.
I saw a lot of explosions in my life. And when I saw that, I said, oh boy, that is the end.
Yeah,
and,
horrible.
But what was it? It was an O-ring. Do you remember that?
Yes, it
Real
was.
cold down there. The O-ring fractured.
And it's not a cock O-ring, Gerry, so let it go.
Oh, okay. I'll stop looking that up.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an O-ring. But yeah, look, we got a guy in the area here that has a Model T truck that he still drives around. Okay,
Hey, those things
old
keep
technology,
going.
a century old, and that thing's still putting around.
Yeah.
So don't tell me they couldn't have upgraded those shuttles.
Oh yeah,
Well, they ended up doing a docudrama about it that, basically there were a team, including led by one team leader, who was trying to warn about this shit, and NASA ignored him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you guys may have found this yourself, maybe on a short dawn, but much like Flat Earth, there are people out there that show photos of the Challenger astronauts and photos of people still working at NASA today that they never died and it never blew up. Oh my. It's insanity, dude.
I'm serious. There's a documentary out there. This guy from California, from some supposed radio station, even though when I looked up his radio station at the time, I couldn't find what he's talking about. Right. I think he's lying. I don't think he's from any radio station. But anyway, he was saying that they're alive, and he went and tried to do interviews, found one of these people, and the lady's like, "Dude, leave me alone."
Right.
Trying to get away from, why don't you just admit what you are? It reminds me of that Buzz Aldrin moment with that guy. Why don't you admit you're a coward, you know?
And you need to put your hand on the Bible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, fuck off, you weirdo.
And what did Buzz do?
He
knocked that guy. Yeah, he knocked
him on his ass.
Yes, he did.
So
the asshole had it coming.
Put that photo up from Moontrap again of the lady attached to the wall.
Oh yeah, okay. Image, because you also sent me that other photo. And
yes, I did. Yes, I did. Because this will make Don happy.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second, because apparently I can't. I deleted it already because I don't keep
Unbelievable.
Stuff around. I'm not a hoarder, damn it.
Unbelievable. See, it's like a comedy show. You have callbacks. See? There's always callbacks.
Comedy always comes in threes, though. That's what I learned. So here we go. I'm restoring it. So restore.
Thank you. Don't delete stuff till the end. When I used to do this, I saved stuff in files for a couple of years when Don used to have the Discord, because there's always a callback.
We have a name for that. It's called hoarder.
Well, it's called being a proper producer. Anyway,
a producer
of sorts. Come on.
No. No. I would suck as a producer. Yeah, I can't find the image. I cannot find it. That's all I can find.
All right, so Don, we have Moontrap, right? And it's got its own vibe, its own flavor. So then I was thinking about that girl against the wall with that alien thing with the spinny knife and all that, and I said, what other movie has a hot girl in it that made a big splash? And that movie, of course, is called Life Force. Right?
Oh my God! Yes.
So I found a photo of her obscured because we really don't want to show what really happened. So if you throw that and he probably deleted that too.
Oh no, I've got it here. I just got to open it up. Open image, a new tab, and I'm just
You're
going to
like
share my
as
screen.
bad as the guy from Film Threat. Oh wait, I'll get it. Wait.
Chris Gore. Oh no,
Yeah.
Al. You mean Al?
No, Chris Gore. He's terrible
Chris.
at it.
Yeah, Chris. I love the guy, but yeah, he's one of those people I actually know. There we go.
Now that's an alien right there.
Absolutely. That
And she's totally naked through most of the movie. She sucks brains. I'm not going to say it's like a gold-plated movie, but it certainly has its place.
It's a cult classic, is what I refer to it as.
Dude, a lot of shitty movies can be cult classics. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
right?
but they deserve love. And I say this all the
original Night of the Living Dead.
Right. Or Beastmaster, or as I like to call it, Breastmaster. The best scene is in the movie is when the gal comes out of the water, and
What breast is it? Mark Singer?
No, no. But of course he's got some. He's built. Yes, he is.
He comes with his own accoutrement. Yes, I agree.
Yes. And ferrets.
The ferrets are the best thing. I fucking
Okay.
love those things, man. I love the
All
ferrets.
right.
So, but there she is. She's hot. French actress. She came on there. They were told, she was told she would be nude for most of the film, and she's like, okay.
Matilda May and Patrick Stewart were the stars of the movie.
Yes, best gay kiss ever was Patrick Stewart in that movie. If you're into that thing.
Right. I don't have any others to put it up against, so.
But there is a sequel to Moontrap.
Yes, and I will find it for you, and I will send it to you so you can give us your in-depth review of the sequel.
Of course, none of the original.
No.
Okay.
No. In fact, the Evil Dead guy, he doesn't really do much. He's kind of retired, I think. He doesn't do much.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. But he loves to go to conventions because he's a funny guy.
He also loves working on Hallmark films. He told me the best experience he ever had working on a film was making that Christmas movie he did a couple of years back. And he says, if I could go out of this life doing nothing but Hallmark movies, that's all I would ever do.
And there's a lot of people that do that.
Yep.
They just make Hallmark movies.
In fact, I'm good friends with Sam Irvin, film director, author, Rondo Award-winning filmmaker, Rondo Award-winning author. That's all he does. He only works on Hallmark films. He gave up wanting to make movies for himself. He just
it's a paycheck. It's a paycheck.
And they pay very well, he said.
Much like Asylum. They do the same thing. It's in-house. They've got 20 films that are working at the same time. And hey,
And their CG sometimes is awful and sometimes not. That last one, 8 versus Monster, was actually pretty freaking good. The visual effects on that.
Well, of course, Sharknado. Come on.
I mean, yeah.
And supposedly they're going to have a new one. And,
That's funny because back in 2014, when I was the research producer on that Aliens on the Moon, The Truth Revealed.
Oh, yes.
That was broadcast on the anniversary date of the Apollo 11 touchdown. Okay. But all that week, they were promoting Sharknado. They had another Sharknado movie coming out. Barely said shit about the moon special, but everything was Sharknado. I couldn't believe that.
Aliens on the Moon, The Truth Exposed.
Truth revealed, truth exposed, whatever. whatever.
Oh, look, there's a photo of D'Antonio as he looks at a photo on a screen, and he's going to give us his view of whatever is on of what that photo shows. So I don't know, Don. Hey, Don, have you heard from any of the producers of that show in a while?
Nope.
No?
Not a word. Not nary even a word.
Wow.
From Kentucky Skywatcher, he wanted to know, was it possible that the 52 incident was related to Roswell? Did they want their people and crash craft back?
Well, if they would have wanted them back, they certainly could have got them.
Yeah, I don't
Don,
think they needed to ask.
there was a new thing that just broke. They're going to have, I don't know, some sort of a class action lawsuit. I think I sent it out to you guys, or I may not have. All the people that have gotten sick at Area 51. And it's close to now 500 people. There's 71 people.
You did not send that out to me.
All right. There's 71 people in this new class action. And not only did a bunch of these people get sick and tumors and yada, 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 and died, much like the John Wayne movie that was shot out there, but a lot of the
Utah.
Right. A lot of the kids from the people who worked out there were born with issues too, might be attributable to that situation. So I know this has been going on a while. They used to have their open pits out there where they would burn stuff and all that. Yeah. So you got any history on that? Because supposedly this big court case, it's going to get thrown out because it's the government, but supposedly it's going to happen. Right.
Well, they gave Bill Clinton basically screwed those people back when he was in the White House. He gave a presidential order basically shit canning that. Look, it's all about Area 51.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The toxic material, the exotic technology that they've been playing with for years, the burn pits, it was a crisis just waiting for the train crash.
Right.
And they basically made the government, the people that ran that behind the scenes, exempt from any legal ramifications. So yeah. I don't think this will probably certainly get PR, get a lot of publicity, but I really don't think it's going to go anywhere unless they somehow manage to piss off President Trump. Now, he's a guy that if he wanted to, and if he thought he had a reason to, he could throw a monkey wrench into the works.
Right.
But it'll just have to play out and we'll see.
I'm going to try to find that it's very short. It's a newscast. Shoot, I wish I would have sent that to you guys. It was a newscast with one of the guys who was sick from the situation.
Well, I see Area 51 staff left with fatal diseases after guarding top secret projects. Is that the
right? Well, this was a newscast from a local station in the area, so and I can't find it. So anyway, I know it's been going on for a very, very, very long time. So, and it's sad. It's sad.
Well, back to the 50s, okay? Back to the 1950s, the early 1950s. That's when that area opened up. The CIA opened that up.
Right.
Okay. As a place that was very unlikely you would have Soviet spies, because there were a lot of them then, or civilians stumbling into this area where they were doing all this ultra top secret testing, where the SR-71 was developed, where the U-2 was developed.
You did?
Okay, one second. Okay, right here, pause it, Control C, go back to StreamYard. I'm going to put it in chat, and it's right there. It is 5 minutes long. We don't have to watch the whole thing, but it does break down the entire thing about Area 51 classified cancer, which is a great title, I have to say. So I think it's worth it, Don. If you haven't seen it, it's the current information about this. And this
go ahead and run it.
Sure. This has been since the 90s, so you'll want to crank it.
Aired. 2 pieces of legislation were introduced. You were invited to the White House just a few days ago. How does it feel watching this piece back now, knowing your story is out there in such a big way?
Well, thank you, Natasha, for having me.
Wait, what the hell? Is it playing for you guys at all?
Yeah, it is, but it's too big and it's all fuzzy, and then it stopped playing, but I could hear it.
Because it's popping up some weird things from Microsoft.
Let's go with that size.
Yeah, let's go back to this, and then I'll hit play, because playing full size, it's acting like a douche. There we go.
Right.
It's every time something happens, I'm just amazed on how far we've gone. And now to have been in the West Wing and to be through the executive office building with numerous meetings and on Capitol Hill, I've spent 2 weeks there in the last 4. It's absolutely incredible. And it's a great honor. And thanks to News Nation and thank you to you, these opportunities, they're coming to us now where they weren't before, because people are hearing what's gone on and people are sympathetic and understand the wrong that's happened. So it's incredible. It just amazes me, and it amazes all of us.
Dave, I'm so glad to hear that. And tell me more about the visit to the White House earlier this month. What happened?
So it was just an opportunity for me with some of the folks that help us in DC to go talk to various offices, tell them our story, and ask if they can help. And I think it's helping, because we know that there's been some phone calls made, and we have right now we have a very singular focus. We have legislation, an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA, and that amendment makes the government say, we were exposed. And it will also deem NTTR, Nevada Test and Training Range, as a contaminated location. So we can finally prove exposure. There's more to do after that, but it's the first step. And right now we're to the point that we have everybody that we can calling, trying to get to the speaker's office, because right now, one quick action of the speaker and we can finally make this happen.
Yeah. And I understand time is so of the essence here. When we first aired your story in February, there were 446 names on the memorial list. Where does that number stand tonight, and what does that number mean to you?
It's 519 people that we know of so far that worked out in the areas near and around where I worked. And those are people, they're dads and moms and brothers and sisters and, family members that have all passed away, and the government chooses to hide the why. And on that list right now, the best calculation that I've been able to come up with is the average age is about 62 and a half years old.
And there are ripple effects to this as well. You say that the children born from these veterans, those are the most innocent victims. That's what you told me. Your son born with a brain tumor. What do people need to know about this?
It's not just us. And I hear people make the argument sometimes. It's like, well, you join the military, you're a volunteer force, you get what you get. No, not exactly. You didn't sign up for knowing that. You didn't sign up for this. You didn't sign up so you could go somewhere where the government knew that they were likely going to make you very sick, that likely they were going to take a decade and a half or so off your life, and that all of your offspring would likely be sick as well, and make it to where it's a generational thing. It's hereditary things. All of my kids suffer from problems, and I could go right on government websites and connect the dot in 5 minutes on my exposure equals this, and this is why they're sick. And it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us whose wives had multiple miscarriages as a result. I mean, it's devastated families. One guy I know, I think his daughter made it to 19 days old when she died. It's tragic. One of my friends, his wife has had 7 miscarriages. That's not normal. And
Okay, let's cut this off.
But we're not.
Let's cut this off.
So
Okay.
it's not a dead story, right? It's come
No.
back.
And what that guy just said hit me, that people came to him and said, well, you volunteered for the military.
I
get
knew
what
that
you
would-
get.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you,
That's bullshit. Yeah.
somebody that is that ignorant and that stupid
Yeah.
doesn't deserve the freedoms that I helped secure for that son of a bitch when I served my time in the Army. That
I completely agree, Don.
ingratitude just astounds me, that there are ignorant bastards out there that think like that.
Yep.
I'm not the guy they want to say that to, believe me.
No,
Yeah.
dude,
When I was in, I was telling Alicia Anima this. She freaked out a little bit when I told her so. So I said, yeah, we were given crates of atropine, and we had to remove all boxes from the crate because on the crate it's stamped not human tested.
nice.
And we were told, you do not say what you saw here. You will be criminally charged if you say what you saw here. And I'm like, jeepers creepers. And of course, it's years later. Nobody cares. So I'm not too worried about it. Although they could probably do it if somebody didn't like me. And there's quite a few that didn't like me in the military. If you can imagine that.
I can't believe that. I mean, so
yeah.
Don, you probably heard about this a few weeks ago, and the story completely died, which is part of the story. That crash that happened outside of Area 51. And then they went out there, and the guy found the non-crash site where they put some dirt out there and stuff. Then he found the real crash site, which it looks like he did, and they were throwing stuff around on the ground of other just garbage and like a computer parts that were broken and snapped and stuff. Very interesting story. It was obviously, it seems to be one of our drones or something that got out of control and crashed. But isn't it interesting when you go back to even Roswell, if we had a bunch of guys out there to look around and pick up as much as they could find and all that? Basically, they did the same thing again, but with backhoes and stuff. I don't know if they had those at Roswell, but they used backhoes and things.
Well, I can tell you about some of the retrieval cleanup at Roswell. In April of 1994, I had encountered a man a month or so previously in Roswell. I had gone down to Roswell to review some footage that a guy down there had shot, and it ended up running on hard copy, the old TV show, a strip show that used to do a lot of UFO stuff. And I had a working relationship with a lot of those producers on hard copy. And one night I got a phone call from one of them, and he said, Don, we've got some video we just received of some weird footage shot in Roswell, New Mexico, with a phenomenon the guy is calling rods. Remember the rods?
I do.
So he sent it over to my house. And I looked at it, and at first blush, I got to say, well, yeah, this is kind of strange. So he said, would you consider going down to Roswell and seeing this guy and let me know what you come up with? And I said, yeah, sure. So I flew down. As a matter of fact, Schultz was with me too. Flew down there. The guy that had shot the footage was Jose. Oh, geez, I'm trying to think of his last name.
Jose Acima, something like that.
Yeah. And I got down there, and he showed me this footage, and I wanted to know, well, where did you shoot this? Well, he told me. Now, Roswell was pretty rural then. I'm sure it still is. And a lot of horses down there. And he had shot some of this, him and his brother, next to a horse corral. Now, what do you got in a horse corral besides horse shit? You got a lot of flies, right? Well, it took me 3 seconds, and I knew what those rods were. And I told him, Escamilla, Jose Escamilla. I said, Jose, those are bugs. No, they're not. I said, yeah, they are. They're bugs. They're flies. No. Well, he maintained, forevermore. They were flies. They were not flies.
Oh, yeah.
So I came back to, and that trip itself was a story. But I came back, and while I was there, at the time there were 2 UFO museums. There were the International UFO Museum.
Yep.
I think it's still there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And there was another one run by a guy by the name of John Price. Well, we stopped at both. And John Price knew me from the magazine. And, he was a great guy. And he said, Don, by the way, he said, we got a guy in here right now sitting in the back room going through a copy of my 509th Bomber Group yearbook that I have a copy of. And I said, oh? He said, yeah, he's looking for his picture. He was there. I said, he was where? At the Roswell crash. I said, no kidding. Okay. So I went in, introduced myself. His name was Thomas Gonzalez. He was an elderly gentleman at the time. And I sat down with him. He found his photograph in the book. And then he told me a short, abbreviated story about what had happened. His whole squadron, T Squadron, had been rounded up by the Army Air Force to go out to the crash site and police the area, pick up all the debris. So the plane that Schultz and I were supposed to fly out of there, because Roswell just has a small regional airport, or it did then. Hell, they didn't even have radar. So our plane had experienced problems. They were fixing it. But we had a certain time we had to be back to the airfield to get on the plane to get out of there. So I checked my watch, and time was short, so we had to run. But I got John Price's phone number. And I said, let's keep in touch. So we flow out of there. We go back to L.A. I get home. I call Price up. And right after we left, the old man got up and took off. Now, how did he even get there? Well, at that time, Paul Davids, the movie producer, had a new movie coming out called Roswell with Kyle MacLachlan. playing Jesse Marcel about the Roswell event. And they had been running promos. It was going to run on Showtime. They had been running promos on TV. And Mr. Gonzalez had seen one of those promos, and he was living with a daughter at the time. This is a long, convoluted story. I'll give you the crib notes. She had been sucking his Social Security up. And they were having problems. And the old man got pissed off, grabbed his stuff, and split. He saw this promo for the movie, thought it was a real 509th reunion, jumped on a bus, and went to Roswell, New Mexico from Texas, okay? They were in Tomball, Texas. So he gets up there, and in the meantime, his sons start wondering where their dad is. They end up going to the police because the old man hadn't told anybody what he was going to do. They put out a bolo alert on him all over the Southwest. Gets up to Roswell. The Roswell police encounter him, take him back to the police station, call up his sons, and they come up and pick him up. Excuse me. So, I'm trying to find the guy. Price has no idea where he's at. So I put on my cop hat and I start doing an investigation. I start calling around in Tomball, Texas, and I locate one of the sons. And he tells me, so we fly down to see him. And I get down there and I videotape the whole thing. But he tells me this long story. Not only did they police up the debris field, but he saw, according to what he's told me, bodies with one alleged alien still alive. And he carved me some little carvings of what these aliens look like. You guys have seen those, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, however, they didn't get everything. Now, this is what's interesting. We all know who Mac Brazel was. Mac Brazel was the rancher that was out running his sheep. They came to the debris field. This is apparently right after the event. And his sheep wouldn't cross the debris field. So he picked up some stuff that he was laying around on the ground, took it in to the sheriff of Roswell. The sheriff thought it was just a routine air crash of some kind. He calls up the Army airfield. They end up going out there. Now, they knew something had happened because this UFO had been detected on radar. They knew something had happened. They found the debris field. Then the colonel of the 509th releases that press release that the Army recovered a flying disc. The next day, General Ramey, no pun intended, emptied the Roswell saucer cup. He said, no, it was a weather balloon. And the bullshit continued on from that moment forward. But, okay, Mac Brazel had a son, Bill Brazel, who used to ride out in the range, and occasionally he would find pieces and parts that the Army missed when they sent those guys out to clean up the field. Well, Brazel liked to have his beer now and again. And all this stuff he was keeping in a shoebox under his freaking bed. And he was in there, and somebody was talking to him about that thing that crashed out on your property. And he said, oh, yeah. He said, well, I'm still finding pieces and parts of it. And he said, I'm keeping them. I got them hidden under my bed. And a day or two later, guess who shows up at his house? Army CID.
Yeah.
They scare the shit out of him. He turns over the box of material. Voila, all gone. So, yeah, it was just a weather balloon. Yeah. And I got a bridge that I'll sell you down in Florida.
Well, my point for bringing that up, to not only put a quarter in Don Ecker and hear some good stories, but to talk about the SOP, standard operating procedure, that clearly they have for cleaning up crash sites, what they do, how they do it. And I found it interesting that they kind of have proof now that when they do that, they'll take debris from computers or whatever, and they'll toss that stuff out there as, could be a joke, could be, there's lots of reasons why. Because most of us, you take a computer and you cut it all up and you throw it out there. Personally, for me, I'm going to know that that's from a desktop or a laptop, because I've taken enough of those apart. Many people have, right? So I just find it interesting that, that SOP. Now, if I recall correctly, Don, back in the 90s, there was a document that was floated around about the cleanup of the UFO if it crashed, if you recall that one. It was some kind of an SOP style document, and it talked about, and I don't know if it was real, but they floated something.
there was an Air Force program. Now remember, the Army Air Corps was folded into the U.S. Air Force in 47.
Right.
Okay. And from that point forward, they had, control of all of that. And then the Korean War happened. And the Russians were, were flying a lot of new aircraft. And the Air Force put together a program called Moon Dust.
So, Mark, did you want me to show that Skinwalker Ranch soon?
No.
Excuse me. So anyway, Moon Dust was put together to pick up exotic material that came down from the sky. And that may be what you're talking about.
Yeah, this had to do with crashes. So
yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Don, have you heard that the crew out at Skinwalker Ranch has merch now? They've got merch that they're selling. Well, I sent a photo of some of the merch to Gerry, and he can show the photo here of the merch.
Skinwalker Ranch dressing. Hey, the cool part is every few of them I hear and understand you get microwave burns.
That's right. And for Christmas, Don, I'm going to send you a Boomer gift that he can show you now.
Yep. Let me pull this baby up. I like this one a lot. I want one myself. There it is.
Shit I have to write down because I'm old.
Sounds like me, yeah.
It sounds like me too.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having a deep drawer of information, and as you get old, a very slow retrieval system. You just sit there and go, hold on, I'm digging in the drawer here, trying to remember where that info is.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting a digital recorder to make quick notes but then I forgot how to turn it on. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's like when I was younger, I was in my 50s, and it was a big joke amongst my friends. They would walk in and they would see all these Post-it notes. And they're like, what's with all the Post-it notes? And I said, well, the one Post-it note over here, that's to remind me to do something in the fridge. I said, all these other Post-it notes are reminders to look at all the other Post-it notes to remember to do those things. And they went, man, you're a wreck.
I think that's partially why, Don, us on the porch of our life and things, because the retrieval has gotten slower, in many cases, we just stop caring. You know, it's like, I don't, like in the 90s, I knew the names of all the people on either the Raiders, the players, or the Niners, because I lived it there, right? And then when I got out of it, I just said, I just don't care anymore, you know?
Yeah, there used to be a time, for example, with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, big fan.
Oh, God, yeah. And then when that shitbird.
Kneeling, yeah.
Who?
Kneeling. Let's kneel for the anthem.
And when they pulled that shit, I said, I just can't do it anymore.
It's kind of interesting that up until a couple of seasons ago, you still saw that guy who started the kneeling thing saying, I'm in shape and I'm ready to go. Isn't it interesting? I think that ship has sailed because you haven't heard anything.
Nobody's going to ever hire him.
Well, right. But I mean, in general, you know, the getting in front of the camera and making the statements with his little girlfriend there. You haven't heard a thing because it fell on deaf ears. It's over. You're done. And he got paid a bunch of money from football, right? Because he had like a contract left over, and they gave him millions of dollars that he probably gave over to socialist, communist groups. Yes, probably. Yes. And anyway, that's, you know.
We do have a couple of things here. One's not a question. This is from Genghis Khan. Little House on the Prairie, the Big Sky Ranch filming location to Santa Susana Field Laboratory, a former government nuclear testing site that experienced a partial meltdown in 1959. So that was some of the shit we were talking about with the shit going on at Area 51. So, yeah. And it's not the only time, you know, you'll find some weird shit like that throughout the history of Hollywood where people have died. But the worst one is Genghis Khan with John Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody of the cast and crew got cancer. Some of them survived the cancer only to eventually succumb to it later, or the effects of it.
Well, Wayne was one of them.
Yeah, Wayne, yeah. Well, he got the cancer first with lung cancer, lost the lung, and was able to survive, but the cancer came back later and took him from us. So here you go. This is a question. Did Dawn have any exposure to Agent Orange during Vietnam?
Yes, I did.
Has it caused you medical issues over there?
But so far from that, no, nothing.
Except tonight.
Now, the thing that for years I had very little problem with, when I was wounded, I got a lot of shrapnel in my back and my hips. And for years, you know, hell, when I came back, I was, as everybody knows, I've told you I was a cop. I was an assistant sniper on the SWAT team. I, had to do all that SWAT stuff, the physical training and all that kind of stuff, and I did it fine. But now, as I've aged, especially with weather like we're having right now, that's been bothering me. So, yeah, it's just one of the things you deal with, life goes on.
So it says here regarding the movie The Conqueror, of the 220 cast members, 91, comprising 41% of the crew, developed cancer by 1980, while 21% died from it. This was when this was learned, many suspected that the filming in Utah and surrounding areas near the nuclear test sites were to blame. Some victims believe that habitual tobacco use, that would have had something to do with it as well.
Yeah, because Wayne was a smoker. Yeah.
Well, right. Well, smoking was much bigger, but I'm sure it didn't help.
Doctors used to say it was good for you.
That's right. It helps digestion, don't you know?
Yeah, you betcha. Yeah.
And Don used to smoke up when I first met him. He was just quitting at that time because I saw him outside of a hall where he was speaking. He was out there sucking on a butt, and right after that convention I saw him at, he quit cold turkey. Yes.
Well, it was something I picked up in the Army, and let me tell you what. There was nothing quite like drawn on a lucky strike right after you survived a mortar attack. Boy, that was satisfying.
And when they put those in your kit, oh look, smokes. It must be okay.
Yeah.
That's where I really got the habit, was in the Army. But Hey, everybody smoked then.
Yeah.
Both my parents smoked. My grandfather, both my grandfathers smoked. My grandmothers didn't, but everybody smoked. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere. You were running into cigarettes. And as a matter of fact, now it's funny when you watch some of these older movies.
Yeah.
Okay. People are smoking all the time, and it's almost like cultural shock.
And then, of course, you saw what they did to the James Bond posters when they took out the guns. Right. So I assume they'll do the same thing with smoking as well. They'll use AI to replace it with a joint, I guess. So instead of tobacco,
Rod Serling.
Joint.
Okay.
Oh, that guy was a huge smoker.
All the Twilight Zones.
Yeah, he was a huge smoker.
I heard from one guy that it wasn't on how many cigarettes he smoked a day; it was on how many packs he smoked a day.
Yeah. So sad too, because if you go to YouTube and you watch him when he gave his talks, what a bright, intelligent.
Oh my
guy.
God, yeah.
It's
when he's talking to future writers,
he killed himself with cigarettes like that, man. It's so sad.
Yul Brynner was another one.
Oh, he's in the news today, by the way. I know it's been a long time since he's passed, but because of the new Eddie Murphy documentary, he came up. And I looked at that and I went, nobody needed to know this. Nobody needed to know about your run-in with him at Club 54 or whatever that fucking place was. Fucking Yul Brynner. But I wanted to point this out, too, because I know you know who this guy is. He's a friend of mine. I've known him for years. That's William Sanderson from, I know him from Blade Runner, but that's New Art.
Larry. Yeah.
Larry, Daryl. I had this wonderful night with him. We went up to dinner, him, his wife, Sharon, and I. And my daughter was there with me. And he actually talked like this. He actually had a real draw. He says, "Hey, would it be okay, Gary, if I feed your daughter?" I went, "Sure." So he's over there feeding my daughter, and I'm talking to everybody. And I look, and he's fucking got tears coming down his face while he's feeding my daughter. And I started thinking, like, do I need to be concerned here? Is he like, because he's a nice guy, but this is the first time I've ever hung out with him. And Sharon leaned over to me, his wife, and she said, "We always wanted children, but because of Agent Orange, we were never able to have them." Mm-hmm. And that was when I found out that he was a Vietnam veteran at that dinner, and that he had served as U.S. Army combat medic from 68 through 69. And I was like, wow, But Agent Orange fucked him up. And he made him sterile. So I'm like, God damn, man. So I'm in my mind thinking, maybe his character shouldn't have had a name that rhymed with sterile.
Hey, Don, I'm going to start my weed eater in case you can't hear me. if you get my joke, Don.
Yeah.
Hey, that is not the sound of clanking pans, so we know she's not cooking. 'Cause when Vicky gets to cooking, it sounds like an entire chef crew.
The patriarchy. The patriarchy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I
got a reminder. I got a reminder that I'm doing a show, you know?
Hey, Ma, I'm doing a show.
Well, Bill keeps forgetting that video sits in the archive here. So it's in the studio.
Ma, I'm doing a show.
And also in there is this one I made of Dawn.
Those sons of bitches.
and you got one from tonight when I got him turned up.
Yeah, of all the time I've known you, Don, I've never seen you get in the camera before. That was fucking wild.
All right, Don, we got to wrap it up, buddy.
Oh, Skywatcher said we got to wrap. Oh, does that mean we're out of time?
I think that's what that means.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, according to my wristwatch, we still had about a minute.
Well, he said 54 and we're at 54.
Fine. Then that's it for this week. God bless Sam and Dean Winchester.
Hey!
Have a great week. Good night.